So this video is just a kind of an overview of how Notebook LM can help with our teaching practices. So I've Googled Notebook LM. This is something that is available for teachers, not students. So right now it's only for our teachers, but all staff and teachers will have access to Notebook LM. So you could go in and search it. I do not believe it is in the little waffle, even though Gemini is in the waffle, but I have to sign in anyways. So we're going to go to Google Notebook LM. So you're going to see this page that says try Notebook LM. Go ahead, log in, no big whoop, because everything is accessible using your ISD 832 account. So go in and log in. You can use your account. So what they refer to them is notebooks, which isn't confusing at all because we have smart notebooks. So that's cool. But anyways, this is all of these little buttons down here. Those are my different notebooks that I have created previously. You will see, for example, I used this personally for a project that I was doing in one of my grad school classes. So if you click on, it says AI feedback on writing, you will see that I've uploaded a bunch of different articles, and it provides me a summary of what these articles are all about. And it allows me to start typing and asking questions. Now, the notebook will provide feedback based on those questions, based on the resources. So they're not searching the internet overall. What they are doing is they are going to answer my questions in the chat using these resources. And if at any point in time I don't want a resource being used, like I don't want this one from 2003 being used, I can unclick it. And now any question that I have will not include, the answer will not include this resource. But so for example, so this is all about AI feedback on writing. So you can see here that it says they're talking about the application of artificial intelligence, blah, blah. I wrote a paper about like utilizing AI for formative feedback in writing. But so let's say I've already read these, but I still want to engage in an understanding, make sure I clearly understand my research. I put the check mark there to show that, yes, I have read and annotated all of these sources. But so let's go take a look. I'm just going to ask a question of like, how common is it for teachers to utilize an AI tool to assess student writing? So what it's going to do then is it's going to give me an answer to this. Now, the answer doesn't mean like this is the perfect response. Instead, what it does is it's saying this is what the sources say in response. So as it says here, I'll move this off to the side. Those are all my sources. While it appears that AI is not widely used by teachers for assessing student writing, there is a growing air of interest in the development. What these little numbers are is like what sources I can look to answer that. So if I click the number 1, what it does is it tells me, oh, it's from the Gonzalez source, and this is where in the actual PDF you can find that piece of information. So they're literally showing me the direct text that they found that information. About how there's growing interest in development. Number two, same article, Gonzalez article, but it's a little bit later down. So it talks about current usage, anything pertaining to, so this is a different article. This is Gifford's article that talks about current usage. Again, I can see here, Gifford's article. Then it goes back to Gonzalez. Then it goes back to Gonzalez. Then I'm using the 2003. So all of this feedback that I'm getting, the answers to my questions, all are coming from the sources that I have uploaded, and they're providing me with citations of where they actually found that piece of information. If I want it, or the other thing too, over here on the other side where it says studio, there are so many cool things that teachers can do with this. So first of all, it says click to load the conversation. That's literally a podcast. So here, I'm going to load this conversation. I loaded it earlier so it wouldn't take as long. What it's doing is it's creating a podcast. Yes, a podcast between two speakers that will give me a rundown of everything, all of my sources here. So if I'm looking for a specific, if I just want to get an overview, general summary, I can press play.
Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at something you might not realize has been around for decades: automated essay scoring.
That's right. It's this fascinating intersection of education and technology and AI.
Exactly.
I did not do anything to create that except click one button. So this is a 15-minute podcast where two speakers that are AI generated, these are not real humans, and what they do is the AI has pulled out the most important topics in the sources that I have uploaded here. I can also, I can download it so I can listen to it in the car. Some people have done that. If I want to delete this one, and here I can show you what, so I'll delete this one. So I want to so this is what it would look like. It's called a deep dive conversation. So you can customize it to focus on specific things. Things to try. What do you want them to focus on? Current trends. I'll say, please focus on current trends in AI usage for writing teachers, corporate policies of privacy protections from these AI tools, and then I could type whatever else I wanted. So, and then it's going to take a while. So it says like, oh, it's going to take a little bit. No need to stick around. Like, it's going to generate, but even if you do move and do something else, you can come back and it's still going to be saved. I can create a study guide. So what it's doing is it's automating a study guide. So something that I can, like, look at this study guide. This is all of those articles that I just uploaded. This is giving me a general overview of what those articles have in them. And notice, look at how it's got all of the resources. It's got all of the articles that I have uploaded. And I know that because I've read them all. I know that these are from there. So the other thing that you could do, so that's a study guide. A briefing doc is even smaller, like it's a shorter piece of text. A study guide is literally like a follow up and giving you an overarching rundown of what's happening in the documents. But a briefing doc is pretty basic stuff. So we'll do oh, that seems pretty similar. Briefing doc. Oh, created a quiz. I can create a quiz. Study guide if I want that. Frequently asked questions. So what it's going to be doing is it's going to be generating frequently asked questions that the Notebook LM will help answer. So what does that look like? So if we look here, frequently asked questions are, what are the main approaches to automatic scoring and how do they differ? So looking here, this is what they've got. Now this one I'm noticing does not have like the actual resources like identified. However, it does still provide like a clear frequently asked question here. So like, what is the net of NLP? So yep, it answers the question. And especially if I'm familiar with the resource, that's definitely gonna help. Or timeline. So the timeline kind of gives you an idea of like how these resources interact chronologically. So might be helpful if you want to, as it's generating that note. And these are all notes within the notebook. So as it's, notice how it says, oh, here are all these different notes. So, and you can, so the notes will be left in this notebook. So if I go back to the home page where AI feedback on writing, that's my notebook. So if we want a visual, that's literally like the composition book that I'm running around with. And if I had written AI feedback on writing, So, or that's my binder, that's my notebook where everything can be found about this topic. So then when I click on it, now it's got all of my notes, the notes that I have created. So here it says history. This is that timeline. So again, notice how the different timelines, so it's giving the events all in my different articles, and it's putting them in chronological order in a bunch of different ways. So notice how it was talking about like early stuff, first generation, and then it's talking like up to present, cast of characters, which is wild to me. Like this is where people showed up and at different time periods in the content that I provided to it. So it's just like generally just kind of helpful. Now, if there's anything that I liked that I want to have printed, for example, let's say I wanted this, convert to source. Now, this is a source that it's going to include, that timeline, convert that into here. You could do that. Let's go back to my chat bot here. So over here, I can say like, include, create 5 short answer questions about the topic of privacy in AI. So the 5 short answer questions are going to be created based on the content that's in these documents. So here are 5 short answer questions on the topic of privacy. So it says, what are some privacy concerns related to the large language models in education? And then it provides me the data, like where I would find that information. According to the sources, what does the term transparency mean? And so it's got all that evidence here. So like, I just created a quiz, short answer, no big whoop. Now, if I wanted to keep this, like if I was like, this is great, you can press copy. I've copied everything. Now I'm going to go to Google Docs. As it's loading, I'm going to paste. There you go. So it still has the answers. So you can delete the answers if you want them, or have them on a separate page, like so that you still have the answers somewhere. But everything that was in there, it's right here. Totally easy to do. You could have it in your, totally easy to do in Google. Now I know there could be a way. I wish there was a way for it to like immediately be created into a Google Doc, but it didn't. We just have to copy and paste. Oh, look, the podcast that I wanted to create has been created. So if I press play.
Okay, so get this AI right. It's not just helping us write, it's helping us teach writing. Isn't that wild? We've got all these sources like research papers, articles, even firsthand accounts from like teachers and students who are trying to figure out how to use these new AI tools.
AI would affect their learning.
So that, again, 2 people conversing about the topics that are provided in this. So this is just a general overview of what Notebook LM can do for teachers. The next video will show you how you can utilize this from scratch. I just showed you when I have preloaded stuff into it, what can it do? So big key takeaways here are you can upload resources. You can get a summary of the resources. You can create a podcast that will provide greater understanding of the resources for you, so you don't need to spend your time parsing through each and every little thing. You can create a briefing doc, study guide, frequently asked questions, or timelines. And you could also create assessment tools or assessments like quizzes on here. In the next video, we will talk about how we could use this to create study guides for our class and use our pre-made resources to help our students learn better.